Dr. Erikson, a seasoned glaciologist, had devoted his life to studying the icy wilderness of Antarctica. For decades, he had trekked across frozen landscapes, measured the slow movements of glaciers, and recorded the secrets hidden within ancient ice. His work was meticulous, his resolve unyielding, and his curiosity insatiable. Yet nothing in his long career had prepared him for the day when an eerie sound, echoing from deep within a massive crevasse, would pull him into a mystery that defied explanation. It was a bitter morning when Dr. Erikson arrived at a remote section of a glacier known for its vast, labyrinthine network of ice channels and hidden voids. The wind howled over the desolate expanse, carrying with it a ghostly silence that seemed to punctuate the relentless creaking of the shifting ice. Standing near a colossal hole carved into the glacier's surface, a gaping maw that revealed layers of frozen history, Erikson paused to set up his instruments. As he adjusted his sensors and calibrated his headlamp, a sound unlike any he had heard before drifted toward him from the darkness below. It was a low, almost imperceptible hum that grew steadily louder, reverberating off the ice as if the glacier itself were whispering secrets from its ancient past. Though his rational mind urged caution, his innate scientific curiosity overpowered his trepidation. Erikson leaned over the edge of the crevasse, peering into the inky blackness below. In that moment, what he saw sent a jolt of terror through his veins, a dark, shifting mass moving slowly within the frozen abyss. His heart pounded, and despite the chill that cut through his layers, he felt compelled to descend into the depths to uncover the source of the uncanny sound. After a brief internal struggle, Dr. Erikson secured his climbing gear. His hands trembled slightly as he fastened his harness and double-checked the ropes, murmuring to himself, "I must know what lies beneath." With measured determination, he began to lower himself into the icy void. Each creak and groan of the glacier seemed to warn him, echoing like an ancient incantation, but his resolve only hardened. Step by deliberate step he descended, leaving behind the familiar daylight and entering a realm of near-total darkness. The passageway he encountered was narrow and treacherous. The light from his headlamp cut thin beams through the blackness, revealing jagged ledges and undulating ice walls. As he made his way along the descending path, the eerie hum that had first drawn him in grew louder and more insistent, as though urging him deeper. The sound resonated in every direction, defying efforts to pinpoint its exact source. It was not the natural groan of shifting ice. It carried a rhythm that seemed almost purposeful, like a heartbeat pulsing in the frozen veins of the glacier. After a cautious descent, Erikson landed on a narrow ledge. Here, the glacier's interior revealed peculiar ice formations that looked far too intricate to be the product of random freezing. The formations resembled ancient carvings, delicate patterns etched into the ice with painstaking precision. He reached out, his gloved fingers tracing the sharp edges. "These patterns, they cannot be mere chance," he whispered, a mix of awe and unease in his tone. The symbols were unlike any natural formation he had encountered in his years of study. They seemed almost deliberate, as if they were a forgotten language carved by long-departed hands. Further along the ledge, his flashlight beam illuminated the entrance to a narrow tunnel. The tunnel's opening was partially obscured by icicles that hung like frozen daggers, their crystalline forms glinting ominously. The soft blue glow emanating from within the tunnel beckoned him onward. Though every instinct screamed for him to retreat, his scientific desire to unearth the truth pushed him forward. "There must be something inside," he murmured, steeling himself as he approached the narrow passage. Inside the tunnel, the air was bitterly cold and the walls slick with moisture. Each step sent echoes through the confined space, the sound mingling with the persistent hum that now seemed to emanate from the very ice itself. Dr. Erikson's heart raced as he proceeded, his senses heightened by both fear and fascination. He took careful note of the tunnel's walls, where frost and mineral deposits combined to create surreal, shifting patterns. At one point, his headlamp revealed scattered remnants of what appeared to be scientific equipment: rusted metal fragments, shattered glass tubes, and bits of circuitry embedded in layers of frost. These relics, frozen in time, hinted at the possibility that someone had conducted advanced research here long ago. Erikson paused to document his findings. He retrieved his camera and began photographing every detail, each image capturing a fragment of the glacier's hidden history. Every click of the shutter was a silent promise to preserve the mysteries that lay before him. He carefully collected samples of the unusual ice and even managed to salvage a small piece of a glass tube, noting its intricate design and surprisingly advanced craftsmanship. "This equipment is decades, perhaps centuries old," he mused, marveling at the craftsmanship that defied modern technology. As he ventured deeper into the tunnel, the persistent hum grew into a rhythmic pulse, a steady, mesmerizing beat that seemed to synchronize with the sound of his own heartbeat. The source of the sound remained elusive, its origin cloaked in darkness. It was as if the glacier itself were communicating through this enigmatic vibration. Erikson strained to listen, his ears attuned to every subtle nuance. "What is that?" he wondered aloud, his voice barely more than a whisper in the vast frozen corridor. The tunnel twisted and turned, eventually opening into a wider chamber where the blue glow intensified. The cavernous space was breathtaking, its ceiling lost in darkness and its walls adorned with more of those ancient, mysterious carvings. Here, the rhythmic hum was almost deafening, echoing off the icy surfaces in a cadence that felt both alien and familiar. Dr. Erikson's eyes were drawn to a narrow ledge at the back of the chamber where the glow seemed most vibrant. Cautiously, he approached and discovered a small, intricately designed pendant half buried in the ice. The pendant radiated a soft blue light, its surface etched with symbols and runes that pulsed gently, as if alive. "This could be a key to understanding what's happening here," he whispered, his voice filled with equal parts excitement and dread as he retrieved the artifact. With the pendant carefully stored in his pack, Erikson resumed his exploration, now driven by the need to decipher the mysterious message seemingly embedded in the glacier's heart. The tunnel narrowed again, and every step became a test of endurance. The blue luminescence grew brighter, casting surreal dancing shadows along the walls. The sound, too, seemed to grow louder, its rhythmic pulsation now unmistakable, a steady drumbeat that propelled him forward. His scientific mind raced with possibilities. Could the glow be caused by geothermal activity, or was it the result of a rare bioluminescent phenomenon? Perhaps the pendant and the relics were connected, remnants of an ancient civilization that had once thrived in this frozen wilderness. As he advanced, the narrow passage opened into a vast, ice-carved cavern. The chamber was filled with a mosaic of brilliant blue light, the result of both the pendant's influence and natural reflections from the crystalline ice. The cavern floor was strewn with artifacts, pieces of old scientific equipment, fragments of metal, and even what appeared to be portions of weathered parchment, its text long faded by time. Dr. Erikson knelt beside the scattered objects, his breath visible in the chill air, and began to piece together the story they told. These relics suggest that someone, or perhaps a group of people, once conducted extensive research here, he observed, carefully handling a delicate frost-covered metal instrument. Its design was remarkably advanced, far surpassing the rudimentary tools known to have been used in Antarctic expeditions in the recent past. Suddenly, a low, resonant rumble shook the chamber, and the cavern's ice walls trembled. The rhythmic hum, once a gentle pulse, now swelled into a thunderous beat that vibrated through the very core of the glacier. Dr. Erikson's heart pounded as he clutched the pendant, the sound merging with the natural creaks and groans of the shifting ice. The trembling grew more intense, and shards of ice began to detach from the ceiling, cascading around him like a frigid rain. "I must leave," he thought, but his desire to understand what lay hidden in this ancient place kept him rooted in place. In the midst of the chaos, the structure of the cavern began to destabilize. Erikson's instincts screamed for him to retreat, yet the discovery of the pendant and the overwhelming evidence of previous human presence compelled him to press onward. With every step, he felt the danger mounting, a constant reminder that the glacier was an unpredictable force of nature. He moved carefully, navigating narrow ice bridges and ducking beneath falling icicles, his senses alert to every sound and movement. The once enchanting blue glow now took on an ominous quality, its pulsations mirroring the impending collapse of the ice around him. As the trembling subsided for a brief, heart-stopping moment, Dr. Erikson paused to catch his breath and survey his surroundings. The chamber was eerily quiet now, save for the persistent echo of the blue light and the soft hum that continued to resonate. In that suspended moment, he felt as though he were suspended in time, a lone explorer standing at the crossroads of ancient history and imminent danger. With a deep breath, he decided that he had to document every detail before it was lost forever. He took out his camera and began to photograph the intricate carvings on the walls, the scattered artifacts, and the mysterious pendant that had become the centerpiece of his investigation. Time, however, was not on his side. As he meticulously catalogued the relics, his radio crackled to life. It was Sarah, the leader of his research team back at base camp. "Erikson, you must come out now," her voice pleaded through the static. "The glacier is unstable, and conditions are deteriorating rapidly." The urgency in her tone was unmistakable, and though his heart sank at the thought of leaving behind the answers he sought, he knew that his safety was paramount. "I'm heading back," he responded, his voice steady despite the fear that churned within him. "I have everything I can document, and I'll signal when I'm near the exit." With renewed determination, Dr. Erikson began his careful ascent back through the twisting tunnel. Every step upward was a battle against the oppressive cold and the ever-present threat of the glacier's collapse. The rhythmic hum and the pulsating blue light accompanied him as he retraced his path through the narrow corridors. The ancient relics and carvings that had seemed so captivating on his descent now served as haunting reminders of the mysterious forces that had shaped this frozen realm. His mind, filled with both awe and trepidation, raced with questions. Who were the pioneers that had left these clues? What secrets did the pendant's runes hold? And most urgently, would he make it out before the glacier's unstable structure gave way completely? After what felt like an eternity, the tunnel began to widen, and a faint glimmer of daylight emerged at the distant end. The weight of the glacier's oppressive darkness lifted slightly as he neared the exit. When he finally emerged into the brilliant Antarctic sunlight, Dr. Erikson was met by the relieved faces of his rescue team. Sarah stepped forward immediately, her eyes searching his for signs of distress. "You made it, Erikson," she said, her voice a mixture of relief and reproach. "We were so worried." His rescue team quickly assisted him, checking his vital signs and ensuring that his equipment was intact. Though exhausted and shaken, he managed a faint smile, his mind still reeling from the profound discoveries and the perilous journey he had endured. Back at base camp, Dr. Erikson's detailed report and the photographs he had taken became the center of intense scientific scrutiny. Experts from around the world pored over the images of ancient carvings, relics of sophisticated scientific equipment, and the mysterious pendant with its pulsating blue runes. The pendant, in particular, ignited heated debates among linguists and archaeologists. Preliminary analyses suggested that the runes could belong to an ancient people who had once inhabited or visited Antarctica, a hypothesis that, if proven, would upend conventional theories about the history of human exploration in the polar regions. Simultaneously, glaciologists examined the temperature anomalies recorded in the tunnel. The unusual warmth, several degrees higher than the surrounding ice, was linked to geothermal activity deep beneath the glacier. This unexpected heat source not only explained the radiant blue glow, but also raised concerns about the long-term stability of the glacier. The potential for increased melting and structural collapse had profound implications for understanding climate change and its impact on Antarctic ice. In the months that followed, conferences and symposiums buzzed with discussions about Dr. Erikson's findings. His daring descent, his meticulous documentation, and the enigmatic artifact he recovered became emblematic of a new era in glaciology. The story resonated not only among scientists, but also with the public, inspiring documentaries and articles that celebrated the relentless pursuit of knowledge in the face of nature's most formidable challenges. For Dr. Erikson, the experience was transformative. His journey into the frozen abyss had shattered old assumptions and opened his eyes to the boundless mysteries of the Antarctic interior. He realized that beneath the seemingly immutable surface of the glacier lay dynamic processes and hidden histories waiting to be uncovered. The relics he had found, ancient scientific instruments, weathered carvings, and the mysterious pendant, were not merely objects frozen in time. They were messages from the past, clues to a history that might redefine human understanding of the polar world. In the end, the glacier's hidden secrets, uncovered by one man's daring descent, have ignited a spark of hope and wonder that now illuminates the scientific community. Dr. Erikson's journey, marked by danger, discovery, and an unyielding passion for truth, has opened a new chapter in the study of Antarctica, a chapter in which ancient mysteries and modern science converge in a dazzling display of human ingenuity and natural marvel. As researchers continue to delve into the depths of the icy labyrinth, the legacy of that fateful descent endures, a reminder that even beneath the most impenetrable ice, there lies a world of secrets waiting to be revealed.